At 12:41 a.m., Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 lifted off from Kuala Lumpur and disappeared into the dark night sky. It was a routine flight to Beijing, with no warning signs, no fear, and no indication anything was wrong. Less than 1 hour later, the plane vanished without a distress call, without debris, and without explanation.
Don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any future video.
On March 8, 2014, MH370 departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport just after midnight. The destination was Beijing, China, and the journey was expected to take a little over 6 hours. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the safest passenger planes ever built. Weather conditions were calm, and there were no storms or turbulence along the planned route. Inside the cabin, passengers were settling in for the overnight flight. Many were asleep, believing they would wake up safely in Beijing. The flight was commanded by Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a veteran pilot with over 18,000 flight hours. The first officer, Fariq Abdul Hamid, was young, trained, and fully certified to operate the aircraft. Both pilots completed all standard pre-flight safety checks before departure. No mechanical issues were reported by the crew at any point before takeoff. Maintenance records showed the aircraft was in excellent condition. Technically, there was no reason for MH370 to fail. At 1:19 a.m., air traffic control contacted the cockpit as the plane approached Vietnamese airspace. The captain responded calmly and professionally, just as he had done countless times before. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those would be the final words ever heard from Flight MH370. Minutes later, the plane's transponder was switched off. On civilian radar screens, MH370 simply disappeared. Controllers assumed it had entered Vietnam's airspace as planned. But Vietnam never saw the aircraft. Military radar soon revealed something deeply disturbing. MH370 had turned sharply to the west, away from its planned route. The aircraft crossed back over the Malaysian peninsula. This was not an accidental turn caused by weather or turbulence. It required deliberate and manual control. The plane continued flying northwest, then turned south, straight toward the vast Indian Ocean.
Satellite data later showed the plane did not crash immediately after disappearing. MH370 continued flying for nearly 6 more hours. During that time, no radio messages were sent. No emergency signals were activated. The aircraft flew silently through the darkness, possibly on autopilot or possibly under human control. Eventually, the plane ran out of fuel and descended somewhere over the southern Indian Ocean. The disappearance triggered the largest search operation in aviation history. Ships, aircraft, and satellites from multiple countries were deployed. The search area covered thousands of square kilometers of open ocean, one of the most remote places on Earth. Days passed without any discoveries. Weeks slowly turned into months. Hope began to fade. More than a year later, a piece of debris washed ashore on Reunion Island. It was identified as part of MH370's wing. Additional debris was later found along the African coast. These discoveries confirmed the plane ended its journey in the Indian Ocean. But the main wreckage was never found. The cockpit remained missing. The black boxes were never recovered. Over the years, many theories have been proposed. Some believe a mechanical failure caused the disaster. Others suggest a fire disabled communication systems. Hijacking was also considered by investigators. Evidence raised the possibility of deliberate human action. Pilot involvement became one of the most controversial theories. But no explanation answers every question. For the families, the pain never truly ended. There were no bodies to bury, no final goodbyes, only unanswered questions and endless waiting. More than a decade later, MH370 is still missing. In an age of satellites and technology, a modern jet vanished completely. Somewhere beneath the Indian Ocean, the truth still lies hidden. Until the wreckage is found, the mystery remains unsolved. What really happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370?
Don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any future video.